Iridium, how you doing today? Album review time. Brothers in Arms. Now, this is a debut album, and it's sort of a project, and it's the main driving force behind this project is a guy called Jack Frost. I love that name. So he has played for Savatage, or plays for Savatage, and Lizzie Borden as well, amongst other bands. He's a guitarist, songwriter. And what he's done, he's got together some great musicians to make this debut album. Just let me run you through some of the people who are appearing on this album. So this album came out firstly on Friday, so that was the 24th of September, and some of the people that are appearing on this album, some great names here. So you got vocalist Andrew Freeman, Last in Line, Lynch Mob. Drummer Cole Wilcox from Diamond Head, bassist Alex Jansen from Hardline, keyboardist Charlie Cowell from Angel. Apart from those people, you've got Keith St John from Kingdom Come, and Montrose, Paul Shortino from Rough Cut, Quiet Riot, Steve Overland from FM. Yeah, Steve Overland from FM. Nick Walsh from Moxie, Jesse Damon from Silent Rage, Todd Paul from Roxy Blue, plus special guest Dave Amato from REO Speedwagon and Mick Mahan from Pat Benatar. So, all these people appear on this album. Now, the thing is, I can't find details anywhere, unless I'm looking in the wrong place, of who exactly is on each track, although I have worked some of it out. So I'm not totally stupid, but this is a great album. No matter who's singing on it, it's a real 80s infused album. And Jack Frost has actually said, reading a little paragraph, he was had an interview, and he said that it's meant to be that way. Proud that he's bringing back that 80s sound. His guitar work was sort of an inspiration he got from Jake E. Lee on the Badlands albums. So you can imagine, and it's a real cool bit of guitar work through it. Very intricate stuff, and you can hear every note. I've noticed how clean the guitar sounds on this. It is just literally, you can hear him picking at every little bit of solo, every riff. Pretty amazing guitaring throughout this album, and not just amazing guitaring. There's some great songs. This is like a party album from the 80s. It's just amazing, with some other little bits thrown in, which I'll speak about on the way. So yeah, it's classic rock, but that melodic, even glammy sometimes, you know, that real catchy stuff that we all love from the mid 80s to the late 80s. So yeah, very cool indeed. This is a real fun album. I actually had real fun listening to it. It's only 10 tracks. It's nice and short, you know, 10 tracks is just enough. It's harking straight back. It brings you, honestly, every song on this album, if you heard it for the first time, you'd think that's an 80s band. You really would. There's one little gripe I've got with the album, and I just thought the bass could be turned up. It was a little bit buried in the mix for me. You can really hear the guitar, like, you know, it's so clear, but the bass is a bit buried for me. It doesn't sound bassy enough. The bass is there, but I could have just done with it up a little bit. And that's just such a little tiny minute gripe I've got. Apart from that, it's a great album, and it's really, really fun. So even the song titles are fun as well. So kicking off, track 1, Bitch is Crazy.
Yeah, I'm motoring my booty, she can blow your mind. Skin tight money shaking over time.
So Keith St John actually sings on this one, from Burning Rain and Montrose. This is just a proper rock and roll Van Halen-esque song, really fun, reminded me a bit of Hot for Teacher, I would say. Great vocals, 80s party rock. Apps, real fun track. Next is Last to Know. Andrew Freeman from Last in Line is on this. So this is, again, the party sort of music continues here. A really soaring chorus, great solos, and the solos are fantastic all the way through this. And like I said, his guitar tone is so cool, and you can hear absolutely every note. He almost picking at those solos. Brilliant. Next up is one of my favourite songs. It's probably because it's got one of my favourite vocalists on it. The City Never Sleeps. Now, this has got Steve Overland from FM. Amazing voice. This has got a classic 80s riff to start this off. An almost AC/DC-esque verses with the guitar work. But a beautiful AOR chorus. What do you expect? And obviously, the vocals from Steve Overland is outstanding on this. The City Never Sleeps is a great song. Feel the Love is next. Another, I would say, AC/DC-esque beginning. And throughout, actually, rock and roll, 80s style, bit of southern feel to it as well. But I think that might be me. I don't know. I wrote down here a little bit of a southern feel to it. A bit like bar music. You can imagine being in a bar in the US and this is playing in a real cool bar. Love the track. Feel the Love is excellent. To Make You Mine is next. This is a great 80s melodic rock song. Love the vocals here. Almost an 80s pop and rock song mixed in one. A real hooky chorus. Just like all the choruses, really. And some of these songs, you've noticed I'm not mentioning the vocalists because I'm not 100% sure who they are because there's so many and I can't find out who's actually on each track. But every vocalist on here is great and brings their own thing to each song. The Ties That Bind is next. Great riff over this track, some great vocals again, sort of bit of huskiness voice here, making me think this might be Paul Shortino. Could be wrong though. A very cool metal track. It feels like I'm back in the 80s again, to tell you the truth, when I listen to this. Long Way From Love is next. This has got like a sleazy feel. Definitely 80s again, though. This is sort of unashamed 80s. This is just fucking great. The singer has that sleazy style to his voice. Great range too. Catchy, harmonising vocals as well. My Heart Knows is next. This kicks off actually with a Dokken type riff for some of this track, but mixed with a sort of rock and roll feel at the same time later on. The solo on this one, it just stands out a little bit on this one. It's just absolutely mind-blowing. Brilliant work from Jack Frost on that one. Wasting Light is next. It's another 80s. I think it's just say the whole album sounds like an 80s album. Is brilliant, but they want to sound like that. I can actually feel confident in not upsetting the band, I think. It's, like I said, this is another 80s heavy rock song, which ticks every single box melodic rock fans from the 80s want to hear. That music that just comes out of the best decade of music, and you know, it's just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. We finish off the album. It's very short, like I said, but it hits the mark, just like those albums did in the 80s. 30-minute, 35-minute albums. Voices Are Calling is the last song. Very cool riff throughout this one that carries the verses. Really heavy though. I think the chorus on this song is probably my favourite and the most catchy, which says a lot because every chorus is catchy, every song is catchy. It's a brilliant album. It's really fun. It's definitely, you know, in that 80s groove, and they're proud of it. Jack Frost has done a brilliant job here. Not only the songwriting and everything else, you know, on the guitaring on this album, but getting these musicians together, the people he's chosen. The vocalists are absolutely superb. I'm just trying to, you know, I wish I could add a little bit more detail about who's singing on each track. Hopefully the band watched this and they'll be able to tell me under the comments. But I literally looked everywhere to find out who was on each track. Couldn't find it. Apart from a few, mainly because they were singles, and Steve Overland's voice was just so, you know, it's got so much character in his voice. I just knew it was Steve Overland straight away. Thanks very much for listening. This is a fun album. If you love your 80s melodic rock, you're going to love this album. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you next time.